In this example, we want to solve for x. We have x minus 2 over 4 equals 3 minus x plus 1 over 5. So a little bit of a messy problem, but nothing too crazy because we don't have a rational equation where in a rational equation we'd have like a variable in the denominator. So that makes our life a little bit easier that we don't have to worry about any sort of x values causing any sort of issues in the end, and we don't have any factoring. So now it's just pretty much an operation of figuring out what that LCD is going to be, and then going from there. So finding out that LCD, multiplying everything by that LCD, and wiping out the fractions. That's our whole goal here when we're trying to solve these equations, is get x by itself by wiping out the fractions. Just makes things way more manageable. So my LCD here, I just have denominators of 4, and then if you want to think of this as a 3 over 1, and then we have over 5. So the LCD is going to be 20, because 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and then 5 is 5, 10, 15, 20. So the least common denominator there is going to be 20. Meaning I want to multiply both sides by 20. On this side, I have 20 times x minus 2 over 4. So what happens there is this is 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 25 times. So on this side, I end up with 5 times x minus 2. And see how I put this in parentheses? Because you want to make sure you're doing 5 times all of this. 5 times all of this x minus 2. And then on this side, we have to do 20 times 3, 20 times this whole expression here. So let's do 20 times 3. 20 times 3 is going to be 60. Now I'm going to write this off to the side just to show you this next line right here, this next step. We have negative 1 times x plus 1 over 5, and this is being multiplied by 20. So what I have then is same situation over here where we could simplify the 5 and the 20. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 24 times, and then I have 4 times negative 1, which is going to be negative 4 times the x plus 1. A lot is happening in that step right here. So I'm doing 20 times this. And if you want to just write it as minus and then do it like this, where you have minus 20 times x plus 1 over 5, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 24 times, and then you just have like minus 4 times x plus 1. Either way, you really want to make sure you're making a note that this is negative 4 times x plus 1. So you want to do negative 4 times x, negative 4 times 1. It's really easy to just forget about that and just say like, all right, minus, and then you distribute the 4 without actually distributing the negative. But you want to make sure you're doing negative 4 times x, negative 4 times 1. Probably the most key important step, and if you're going to make a mistake, it's probably going to come right there in that step, at least from what I've seen from students making that error right there. So let's go ahead and finish this up. So now I'm just solving, and I'm going to distribute the 5. As I already talked about, I'm going to distribute the negative 4. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, equals 60. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then we have quite a bit of work still to do. Let's combine these like terms right here. So 5x minus 10 equals 60 minus 4 is 56 minus 4x. Solve for x, so we have to get x's on both, or x, get the x over to one side. I'm going to do a 2 for 1 here. I'm going to add the 4x over to here. And then I'm going to add the 10 over to here. So I'm moving the x's to the left, moving the numbers over to the right without the x's. So I'm adding 4. So 4 plus 5 is 9x equals, adding the 10 over, because I want to get the variables on one side, the numbers on the other. 56 plus 10 is 66. Divide by 9 to solve this one-step equation, and we get 66 over 9, which can definitely be simplified to 22 over 3. 3 goes into 66, 22 times, 3 goes into 9, 3 times. So x is equal to 22 over 3. A little bit of a messy answer, but that's okay. So the key again is right here, multiplying by that LCD and making sure you're doing this process correctly. These negatives always throw people off. That minus, you gotta think of it as minus all of this expression. So you want to distribute the negative to here, negative to there. and that's going to be negative 4 times x, negative 4 times 1. So definitely pay attention to those little details.